Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the procession is on. Led by the registrar of the institute, paving the way for the president and the chairman of governing council to come in.
We stand to be all with the sun. We come on, nation. We will die for now and
While we're standing, please let's take the national anthem after the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Let's begin. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the President and Chairman of the Governing Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, we want to very warmly welcome all of us to this very important event. It is an event to commemorate and to mark the World Public Relations Day. And the NIPR is celebrating the grand time with a very, very important topic that is going to be very useful to all of us. And I want to equally remind us that we have also got the best hand to handle the topic for today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before we move into the details, let's quickly recognize those on our high table for today. Well, the host for today's event is no other than a reputable Nigerian, a man who has seen it all in both public and private sector. He was the special advisor to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and upon completion of his assignment, graciously, on the demand of the Institute, accepted to serve as the President and Chairman of the Governing Council of the Institute. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it was not an appointment. He was duly elected with members of the Governing Council. But more importantly for us in this event is that within 8 months of the adoption of office, something that would have taken the Institute 25 years to achieve, we are achieving in 9 months. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the President and Chairman of the Governing Council, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, Dr. Oyawale. Thank you very much, Mr. President. We also have in the room a very big dish in the Nigerian circle. We have the privilege to also have in our midst the head of civil service of the Federation. We have civil service across the state. This is the leader of them all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the woman who is also making the woman who very proud. No other than Dr. Olusegun, fnipr. Thank you very much, ma'am. We also have in our midst a very distinguished Nigerian, a professor of international reviews, the Vice President and Chairman of the Governing Council, the Chairman of the Teaching Advisory Board of the Institute, who is heavily assisting the President. He is no other than Professor Venerale. We now come very quickly to the man whom we shall be hearing his voice in a few minutes to come. The man who has sacrificed to come all the way from Olusegun. And I want to announce to you that his earlier flight for yesterday was cancelled. But this man insisted that because of the importance and premium he has placed on this event, he must come. Immediately, without a consultation, he bought another ticket. And today he is here with us. He is going to be the keynote speaker for today. And he is also a man who has paid his dues in public and civil service. He is no other than Otunba, the Venerable Olufemi, Oyawale retired. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting to come and taking the pains. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have on the high table the registrar of the institute. Before he became the registrar, he was a man of a black car. Shortly after his registrarship, the community recognized him, but thank you very much for coming. We have also in the house. We have also in the house the General Voice of Nigeria, representing the federal government and the governing council of the institute, the man who has also seen it all. Has served the state governors, he has served the military circle, and today he is serving the whole Nigerians
and it will not stop.
Let's give
Father Alhaji Jubril Baba Inachi a big round of applause.
Thank you for the work you are doing at once,
Especially the young generation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to very quickly recognize all the federal corporate secretaries here with us. We have at least 5 in the room. Let's give them 5 applauses, please.
We also wish to very respectfully
recognize all the council members here present. I can see individually council member representing the good people of Niger State. Mr. Akin Abdullah, also our dear brother who is freshly minted council member representing the federal government of Nigeria. My dear friend,
and we also impressed you to know that this is his first official assignment. So let's give him a freshly minted card. Thank you very much.
The fellows of the institute are not just commoners in the industry. For you to get to the point of fellowship, you must have paid your dues and paid it very, very well. So I want to equally recognize very respectfully all the fellows in the house, all the people of the please let me give a big round of applause. The last but not the least, I want to introduce because NIPR is a professional institute that recognizes young professional or the youth. But I understand this now. It will interest you that recently the Institute of Village, the NIPR Young Professionals Hall, and is led by no other than a very charming lady. I know you'll be proud of her, a barrister and a practicing public relations practitioner, Barrister Chidi Elia.
Yeah, that target is perfect for you. So, you don't have to do that. But Madam, I want to tell you that the little of her, she has represented Nigeria even in the United States. That got us proud, and we know that this assignment that we are giving to her will also do you more proud. Let's give a big hand from her. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now call on the director.
Okay, the director of communication to introduce the PAMSEX, please.
Good afternoon, the head of the Civil Service Corporation, our esteemed organizations, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. In our midst, we have the Permanent Secretary Special Duties in the Office of the Head of the Civil Service Corporation, the President of Dr. Modelin Ajani. We have the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Aviation and Airport Standards, Dr. Emmanuel Narikoli. Also with us here is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Dr. Ngozi Modwi. Also here with the head of the Civil Service, the Permanent Secretary, in charge of Career Management, the President of Mr. Adeoye Adele. Also have the Permanent Secretary, Common Services Office, in the Office of the Head of the Civil Service, Dr. Raymond Omach. We also have the landlord at the list, the Permanent Secretary, Service Policies and Strategies Office, in the Office of the Head of Civil Service Federation, Dr. Deborah Otto. Also here is the Director overseeing the Office of the Permanent Secretary, Service Welfare Office, the President of Dr. Comfort Adiosu. Thank you very much. And then Mr. Mohammed Abdullahi, Director of Communications.
Thank you very much. Let's give you a big round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my singular honor and privilege to invite to do the address of welcome today, no other than the Vice President and Vice Chairman of the Governing Council of the Institute, Professor Emmanuel Dandara. Let's clap for him.
Our head of service, in whom we are very happy and proud. Our president and chairman of Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, council members, our morning supervisor is here. So let me recognize our public secretary, Federal Minister of Information and National Administration. Please clap for her. We can say the video will not speak. Only the supervisor. It's our supervising ministry. And of course, for want of time, let me adopt a protocol already established by the Director of Public Relations of the NIPR. The World Public Relations Day is normally celebrated on the 16th of July every year. And that is to commemorate the date of birth of, I believe, who is one of the founders of public relations. He was born on the 16th of July, 1877. It is deliberate that this year, the Governing Council of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations decided to defer our celebration at national level for 1 week. We have a series of events to commemorate our 60th anniversary, the last of which were the two we held on the 27th of June. First was the colloquium, where we discussed issues of public relations, value orientation, and of course, economic transformation. We also had our dinner and our work night, which was presided over by our former head of state, General Kubugowa, and also had in attendance our former First Lady of the Federation, Mrs. Patience Jonathan. It's interesting to note that the Governing Council thought we should allow our chapters and their different state chapters, state capitals to celebrate the week on the 16th. So we had activities from Port Harcourt to Bauchi to Kaduna, Kano, all across the country. And so we decided to allow this day so we can all now return to the capital and celebrate this day. And we're happy that we're hosted in this beautiful conference room, which indeed every will be proud to come in here. And I'm happy that it's your handwork because I've been here before you. It's important to say that the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is not a child of the Corporate Affairs Commission. It's established by law. It was established in 1963, but chartered in 1990. A copy of the decree is right here. And this explains why on the 1st of June, when we're commemorating our 60th anniversary, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida flagged it up with a cutting of the cake and ordered the blessing because he was the one that signed this decree, which has now become an act of the National Assembly. Now, it makes it mandatory that anybody who must practice within the confines of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in any capacity that is covered by what we regard as public relations functions, whether it's information officer, a public relations officer, public affairs officer, a public communication officer, whatever manner you are managing communication, either for a public organization or even a private organization. It's mandatory for you to belong to the institute. You must be licensed.
Besides that, it penalizes any employer who employs anybody in that capacity without being registered with the institute. And of course, it describes a series of punitive measures. First, you could be fined. You could also be sent to prison for example, and you can also be fined and legally sent to prison. We are very happy that the government of Tinubu is one that is very happy to strengthen professionalism and excellence.
And it's also exciting that a lot of milestones have been covered within this period. It is only in the government that the process that started long ago to ensure that there is standardization of the information and public relations cadre in the Federal Civil Service and by extension the Federal Republic of Nigeria was only completed by the last resolution of the National Council establishment. And I believe that for public relations professionals, that is significant. And I know that you will clap for this government for doing that. Now we are celebrating World Public Relations Day, the Nigerian national celebration. We thought that on a day like this, we can do two things. First, in June, on the 27th to be precise, we give out some awards. And there are a few dignitaries that couldn't make it. And on a day like this, we thought we can also give us an opportunity to give out one or two. We also install some distinguished Nigerians that the council approved for them to become honorary fellows. We also thought on a day like this, we can also do that. Especially when we are talking about the future of public relations in a changing world, which is the theme of what public relations is 2024. And we also thought that we get a distinguished Nigerian who has served this nation at one of the most strategic positions in the area of information management to speak to us on his journey in the Federal Civil Service. Of course, we have a distinguished Nigerian who has been introduced. He is the Venerable Olufemi, who actually was information attaché at the Nigeria Commission Center in UK between 1991 and 1993. He is also a thoroughbred member of the institute and served as chairman of the Cabinet chapter between 1985 and 1987. He is a recipient of 2 distinguished awards from the Nigerian Public Relations, the last of which is the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the Diamond Lifetime Achievement Award, which he received on the 27th of June. Madam Head of Service, this is the civil Nigeria we thought should grace this day. Mr. President, thank you for approving for the national celebration to hold here, and thank you, council members, for giving the president support. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. It gladdens my heart to also know that awards of the NIPR are not taken in abstention. And I am glad that notable Nigerians will not receive on that day just because we don't give our awards in abstention. Can we clap for the interview? Yes, that is the class and that is the level we are operating. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just to quickly recognize a big fish also in our house, as somebody who has advocated for the rights of people with disability over the decades, a distinguished fellow of the Institute. And I want to report to Mr. President that since he was conferred with his own honorary fellowship, he has been living up to expectation, both at the chapter and at the national level. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Jack Epele in the house, the CEO of TAF Africa. Yes. From the high table, they say we should add the title of His Excellency because he's an ambassador. So can we give him an ambassadorial clap? Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I also have the honor and privilege to invite Ambassador Jack Epele for his few seconds goodwill message. There's a second mic there, please.
You can speak from there. It's not ambassadorial program. Give me my.
Thank you.
We need to offer.
Oh, okay. Still have
That's the feedback. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. President, NIPR, council members, the head of service, ladies and gentlemen, first I want to apologize that I came late. I know that Mr. President was skilled me alive, coming late, but I had a surgery a few days ago, and this event is important to me. I had to come with one leg limping, but it's a good thing to be part of this historic event. I want to thank NIPR for all of the opportunity and for consistently recognizing inclusion and the need for inclusion. It's on that when one person is left behind, others cannot move forward. With that said, head of service, I know that you're leaving, but there's one thing that I desired, and maybe it will be part of your handover notes, the fact that we wanted to have and know the actual numbers of persons with disability in federal civil service. We did start that project, and maybe your successor will complete it, or peradventure you have completed it after that year. But this is my appeal to you as part of public relations information, that we need to know the actual numbers of persons with disability in federal civil service. When we did the pilot edition, it was mind-blowing to know that the only person with disability in, it's not that it's only one person, but the highest ranking officer in federal ministry in civil service was level 14. And there's no other person with disability. And I think in a nation that are diverse and preach inclusion, we need more persons with disability in decision-making position so that we can truly have an inclusive civil service. I want to say you have done well, man. I've met you a number of times. Your passion for inclusivity, and I pray that it's translated into full-blown action. That at the end of the day, it's possible. Before you leave, it's possible to do quickly interrogate that document and ensure that we truly will have an inclusive civil service. Person with disability wants to contribute to nation building and excellent civil service. Let me end by reminding everyone of us here, if you can take time out to please look at me. I'm very looking to behold, so look at me. I want to remind you the very day you were born. You notice what happened? You cried. Everyone around you rejoiced. Let's live our lives so well that the day we die, we will rejoice. And everyone around us. That's the life of contribution. My question to you this morning: whose life are you so affected that the day you die, I will cry out your heart? That's a big question. Don't give me the answer. I'll see you when you provide the answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know the time is running, but just to say that the chairman of the occasion, Senator Osita Izunaso, for another national assignment called and is currently in National Assembly, but it's still relevant. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we want to very respectfully call the Secretary General, African Forum for Relations Association, our morning PhD.
Thank you so much. I'm going to right on the service protocol. But I want to give you especially for all you've done for the nation. Thank you, Mr. President, for what you are doing with the council. I thank the General Speaker and everybody seated here. I think it's important that we also emphasize the significance of where we're here today. Why is it so significant? First and foremost, I have experience of financial management or financial management. And so when we talk about currencies, it's a duty that also captures those who were responsible. And so if NIPR has been on the trenches for 17 years, trying to get practitioners to be federalized in public service, and that was achieved under your leadership, we want to place it on the record that that's very, very significant. As a Secretary General, I'd like to inform you that what you have done is to rekindle the voice of Global Alliance for PR and Communication Management, of which NIPR is a central partner. When we talk about responsible communication, as a matter of fact, next month, the President of the Global Alliance for PR and Communication Management will be presenting many recommendations requesting that responsible communication as the 18th SDG. Why is this important? I attach that to what we're doing here, the future of public relations, and especially the vision in which NIPR and the Council has said going with a contribution. We live in a world in which technology is fast making our society better. And so if we pick just one item, AI, and see how important AI is, but looking at the risk and the need and the call, even from the Secretary of the United Nations and others, for us to make sure that we deploy AI safely, ethically, and responsibly. We see how central it is that the Global Alliance for PR Communication is going to the United Nations to insist that responsible communication be added as an SDG. Communication is so central to what we do as humans that we cannot overemphasize it. I'm going to stop here because we need to move the speed at our pace. And say once again, thank you for what you do. We wish you well as you proceed on retirement, and we welcome your successor, Mrs. Esther Wilson-Jar, because we'll also be engaging with her. Thank you all for listening. I want to stop here.
Thank you very much. We're now the last but not the least on this segment. I want to very respectfully call on the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, our supervising ministry, no other than Dr. Ngozi Omudiwe, to please give a good message. A big round of applause for her.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Olufemi, and me as CFI, the president of NIPR, the vice president, members, their colleagues, permanent secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I will just congratulate the NIPR for their 60th anniversary, which I believe was probably in June 2024. And to congratulate the head of civil service of the Federation for this honor. NIPR, I've been seeing them everywhere. Each time I look at television on the news, I know that I don't see NIPR reaching out to one person or the other. One of these days, I saw them with a former military head of state, General Ibrahim Babangida. Honestly, there's no that I don't see NIPR on the news. They've been, doing what they should do, public relations. Very soon, all Nigerians will become either member or fellow. And I think it is good because I think public relations is something that is good. It ensures friendship, it ensures synergy. So I use this opportunity to say congratulations and keep up the good work, the president and your team. You are doing very well. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, at least for vindicating me. When I said that the president has done the work within 8 months, I was not just speaking, but I was stating the fact. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, reputation building and management is a function of all living human beings. So NIPR calls on all of us to please join hands with the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations to a renowned and quality reputation that is globally competitive for Nigeria. Let's give a bigger round of applause. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before I call the guest speaker for today, let me very quickly recognize the Chief Executive Officer, United Nigeria Airlines, Professor Obiora Kombo, a distinguished fellow of the Institute. Welcome, sir. I will now very respectfully invite our keynote speaker, the Venerable himself, to now take us through 20 minutes his presentation. Let's clap hand for him, please.
The President of Council, Chairman of the NIPR, Dr. Ike Nedi Ako. The Vice President, Professor Emmanuel Dandara, all other members of Council, all the fellows, and our distinguished host for today, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Folashade Yemieson, CFR, the Panther of the Federal Minister of Information and National Orientation, Dr. Ngozi Onwudiwe, and everyone here present. I thank God for this opportunity, and I congratulate the NIPR for all that it is doing to continue with the race we've been running since 1963. I'm very proud of this council,
Not just for all the innovations, but also for righting some of the wrongs of the past. A particular wrong that was righted
a few months ago was
the conferment of the honorary fellowship of the NIPR on the late Federal Director of Information, head of all information services in Nigeria, Chief Lawrence Ena Scott Emako.
In fact,
Everyone is happy about that consignment.
it's my
My prayer that we continue to do well in Jesus' name. I have been warned, not just advised, I've been warned that I have a maximum of 20 minutes to deliver my address.
There are so many things I have put down here in my
15-page paper
but
that I'm used to delivering lectures from 30-page paper in 15 minutes. So I will try to stick to that time. Most of us here are public relations people, which makes me happy. So I don't need to do the introduction of what is PR, how far we have gone, who started what, who did what. We all know the values of public relations. Without public relations, there's no life as far as I'm concerned. And I want to remind all of us that God Himself started public relations in the heavenly realm. How? When
He has
created
most of the things he
most
wanted
of the
to create.
things He wanted to create.
He
He had to create a human being. And He called on the heavenly host, come, let us create man in our own image, in our own likeness. That's it. We have done it. Yeah.
but he didn't do that. So we are all good. We didn't create public relations, but we continue to promote it. I'm glad that the theme for this year's public relations, World Public Relations Day is what we have been told, the future of public relations in a changing world. Journey in the Nigerian Federal Service. Well, I thank God for my over 30 years service in the Federal Ministry of Information. It took me to London it took me to Kaduna, the National Institute of Information, where we train over public relations officers civil service, in the armed forces, and some other government agencies. So I will not talk you with a lot of experiences. I just go straight to what I believe. The future of public relations should be. In a fast-changing and competitive world, public relations have to move with the times. Professionalism is the end thing. Automation will dominate the future, whether or not. So PR professionals have to bear up job losses and dictate the pace. And fewer human beings, we have to do more work. We have to do more work. Artificial intelligence, AI, is dictating the pace as it executes a wide range of public relations tasks. AI is dominating the future. So PR department and outfit will willy-nilly have chief executives and their immediate juniors operating the machines with very few ancillary staff. There will be no question of having 3 secretaries, one making tea, the other one typing, the other making photocopy. There will be no room for that anymore. The guy will have to get on the machine and do the job. Those who cannot cope with automation will be flanked out and replaced with competent and computer strategies. Current professionals, PR professionals in government, commerce, industry, education, the church, the armed forces, and so on, we have to be trained and retrained for acceptable performance. They now have to master the modern media, working relentlessly on social media, corporate websites, coaching, and robotics. Dependable feedback machinery must be put in place. That's the feedback, monitoring, and implementation. Digital PR is the future moving state, and must be mastered now. Diploma, third, and second degrees alone will not suffice. Therefore, universities and other institutions discussing public relations, communication, and journalism will have to upgrade or be phased out. Now, the NIPR College. The founding of the NIPR College is a very welcome development. With proper planning, adequate funding, and world-standard faculty in place, the college to be a standard of sound public relations, education, and training. Collaboration with communication departments of universities will be essential. And here, we might consider teaming up with the National Institute of Public Information to see how we can work together. The federal government will make public relations educational certification from the NIPR College mandatory for grade level 12 to career progression. Similarly, all government public relations, information, publicity, press officers, and special assistants ministers must be registered members of NIPR. This means that our monitoring committee should work harder.
According to our decree, nobody is expected to work in public relations or perform any kind of public relations function without being registered
in a category in the NIPR. Talking about create for individuals, it means you have to widen our scope by working in tandem with relevant countries and institutions to achieve greater success. In the Nigerian case, let the NIPR stamp out past successful veterans of various educational and professional associations to become PR professional and promoted. What I'm saying is that whether you're an administrative officer or you are whatever, if you have reached a certain level in the civil service, you ought to be member of the NIPR. Here, I must commend the outgoing Federal Federal Service of the Federation, Dr. CSR, who promoted public relations practice in Nigeria by helping to push at the topmost level the creation of the public relations officer cadre in the Federal Civil Service. Please let me have another round of background. The first one before, but we can't have enough. So we salute you. Her name is proudly enshrined in the annals of public relations in Nigeria. I urge the incoming head of service, Mrs. Didi Esther Watson-Jack, OON, to please cooperate with the NIPR in all ways you can. One way I propose, although I'm not speaking for the council, I'm speaking for myself. One way I propose is to make it mandatory for federal civil servants to pass a paper on public relations as a condition of promotion to grade levels 16 and 17, that is, director and above. Before you are promoted, pass the PR paper. Because government, we need you and we need to be capable. PR involvement in decision making is one of the things we've been fighting for in the NIPR over the years. To make government plans decisions that are acceptable to the citizenry and avoid all unnecessary misunderstanding and chaos in the polity. Governments at all levels should ensure the participation of the public relations staff in planning and decision making. Thus, they will be able to discharge more efficiently the strategic planning and public enlightenment responsibility. The standard PR executive shall no longer boy or girl, boy or a minister or a CEO of a government agency. Funding is very, very crucial to achieving success. There is no gainsaying the fact that public relations of the present and the future require adequate funding for enhanced national and international understanding, respect and cooperation for the federal government. Nothing good can achieve. Public relations officers and other functionaries should be well remunerated and provided with the requisite tools for optimum performance. The NIPR should be fighting for a situation where our functionaries are duly recognized, given decent offices, and not just helped into an open room or into a corner. Money should be made available for training, retraining, attendance at relevant conferences, workshops and seminars, and professional journal subscription. I want a situation in which PR functionaries will have access to journals, either on the internet or to be able to buy the hard copy magazines produced by professionals. Rather than stop subventions to the NIPR and the tenets of NIPR membership dues of public relations officers, the federal government should budget adequately for this. I'm concerned because I read somewhere that the government will no longer be funding the NIPR. We need to get subvention
at the beginning, up to the era of Mr. Michael Kireke, we need to get subvention from the ministry. That should not stop. Madam, please, the anything can be about that. Please tell government. Let them pay for our offices. Very important. And I'm advocating for a seat on the National Executive Council for the NIPR president. It will not matter who he or she is. As a matter of right, she is able to be present at National Executive Council so that it will be easier for him or her to link up with all our members everywhere. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I commend the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who deserves maximum public relations and general ovation and support. Devoid of politics, the man has fought many battles in his short term in office. He has fought the oil cabal, he has fought the forest cabal, he has fought the petrol subsidy cabal, the oil and gas cabal, and against state governors who don't want to remove their hand from local government area money. Thank God for the
Supreme Court week before. It is now a crime for any governor to spend LGA money. I hope
no cabal will arise to truncate that decision. The court will put down its feet, the president of the Federal Executive Council will put down their feet and ensure that LGA money goes straight to the level. Very crucial. Talking about finances, I think government has to do better than just sending out trucks of rice to the states. The palliative distribution needs to be monitored. If you don't monitor it, anything can happen to them. You know what Nigeria is. Certain people just sit on it and just send out a few bags to people who opt to get there. The president should let that happen. So at whatever level, maybe we will start it from here, the NIPR, to ensure that monitoring is done. I have heard people saying, what will 24 trucks of rice do in a vast country like Nigeria? That may be true to some extent, but I've asked those who have spoken with me about how many trucks do you think can send out to each local government that will suffice? So, whatever is sent out should be monitored. Let us hail the government for doing that and ask them to do more because there is poverty
in the land. I pray that poverty will not kill us in Jesus' name. So let all those
in a position to do so
continue to explain what government is doing. I think the NIPR
is the best.
We can do it because we are recognized, we are respected, and I believe that things will be done.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, NIPR has been lucky. We have had people in positions of authority, nationally and internationally. We have had members of the National Assembly who are NIPR members. We have had my brother, Patsy, who was Honorable Commissioner for Information in Otunba State. We've had Alhaji Jibril, who was my member in Kabina. I introduced him to Pierre, gave him a form, and became his fellow. Earlier in Building. We have people, NIPR members all over the place. The Venerale of Usaya, president of Saprai, and now
I'm glad to learn about my brother, Dr. Omoni. Praise the Lord. It's AFRA Secretary General. There are many others in positions of authority. Let them use their authority, their experience to foster the NIPR. I promise I wasn't going to thank you, so thank you for listening. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just to let us know that Chief Linus, I would say, former permanent secretary health is here. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you very much for joining us. Major General Chris Olusegun, former Defense Information Director. You are welcome. Retired, but not tired. Let's give him a big round of applause. We also have our brother in the house, Ambassador Elijah Yamwa. He's the former ambassador to Burundi. So let's give him Ambassador clap. Thank you very much for honoring us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the time is ticking very fast, and then we have to keep the next item on the agenda. I know we have lots of plenty of questions, but now we are skipping that. Our social media platforms are live. Just like Madam Pastor said, as we are visible in traditional media, we are also visible across our social media platforms. So this conversation will keep on going on our various platforms. So please encourage you to go there and then find us there and then interact. Then tomorrow we are going to have, on Thursday, we are going to have one of our lunches that will take just for 1 hour, power lunch. So it's also going to be very, very heavy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to the next item on the agenda. We want to give professional and excellence award to one of our own who has also paid his dues. We now want to invite very respectfully the chairman, United Nigeria Airlines, Professor Obiora, who wants to step forward as the president gives him this award.
On behalf of the governing council, we are fellow of the institute. Senior leaders. We have done well, and at 60, the Federal Commission identified some of us have done well at various areas of influence. We were not with us that day, and you know, customarily, know the tradition of the institute. We don't dash the words, therefore we don't give you the presentations. That's why we say, when we are ready, we are ready. We will accommodate. And this has given us the opportunity to today. We are recognizing you on this day in recognition of your sustained contributions to the advancement of public relations ideals and the betterment of society in all that we stand by. It's my honor to first present this certificate of Diamond Award for Excellence in Professional Science. Secondly, on behalf of the Governing Council Institute, I present to you this plaque, Diamond Plaque, painted in gold. That's a sign of your Diamond Award for Excellence in Professional Science.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a repeating round of applause. As he's flashing his plaque and certificate, I want to also say that this man that is here, I want to give an whoever flew on United Nigerian Airlines had very, very significant rebate. The CEO and chairman, I hope you repeat that again. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
Yes, he just reminded you I was one of the guest lecturer on the pioneer Samebele.
But we have not found anybody to take it from this today.
What? You can come in for second round. I'll be glad to do so. Thank you so much. I am indeed highly dignified with this award. I once again apologize for my absence. 960th year dinner that I was supposed to receive this award. And obviously, I paid the price for coming back for the second time. So I accept the consequences. I've been really a member going to 20 years, coincidental times to the current president. And since I've been a member, I've also attracted a lot more of people, and I've been as active as I could be. And as you can see, I am the spokesperson of airline operators of Nigeria. Even last night I was on Arise TV talking. It is all coming from my experience and benefits from being a member of NIPR. So as the guest lecturer has rolled out, I think Mr. President should listen to this. As the guest lecturer has rolled out things should be done with laws, with ethics and all that. I want them please to consider making it a compulsory thing that any person in my position offering PRO services to different organizations should be paid money. It should not be pro bono. Because one of you as a man is pro bono. But for the spirit of NIPR, I am funding it with all my resources. And I'm glad that it's being appreciated. So thank you very much. And I will continue to lie with Mr. President and the council, which I'm a member, for things we continue to do on our own individual capacity for betterment and the growth of this organization. Like I said on the Diamond conference, I gladly accepted an invitation as a visiting professor to the institute, which I'm looking very forward that we're going to set up this year, right? Mr. President, we're still on track. Okay, thank you very much. So it's my honor, and thank you, the head of service, for allowing us to be here and sharing this beautiful conference center with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Obiorokokwo, for very serious and strategic assignments across the country, and a need rebate from you. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you for what you have done in the past, and we know that you still do it again. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as public relations officers and practitioners, truth is part of our values. We told you earlier that the chairman of this occasion was supposed to come here, but something happened. He has to go back for national assignment. And we did promise that he will still meet us here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to very delightedly announce the arrival of distinguished Senator Osita Izunaso, a distinguished fellow of the Institute and the chairman, Senate Committee on Capital Markets, and if you like, art institutions. A bigger round of applause for him, please. Yeah, we're coming. So this is the second round. The third round
at Transcorp Hilton on the 27th day of June 2024. He also received a Diamond Award. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's now our singular honor and privilege to receive a Diamond Remarks for a few minutes from the chairman of the occasion.
If you clap very well, you'll make it better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, distinguished audience. Let me start by recognizing the president of our council and other council members here, the head of service of the federation, and other distinguished personalities from all. I'm not even coordinate because in that area we should try. So when it was exactly 5 minutes to 12, the president called me, and his question was very angry. And I said, I'm back to do that because I was having a session. One of my colleagues was leaving his party to join us in the PC. So it is remarkable that I'm there to receive you. I see our party is growing. But having said that, I would like to say that I'm happy to be here today as the chairman of this event. I have a proud fellow of Nigeria. I'm not an honorary fellow because some 2 weeks ago, the president incorporated us as senators on the fellowship. And the word is now with Venerale. The word is Venerale. And we are trying to get an outlaw of some. These are ordinary fellows. We are fellows that have bought the candle to be a fellow. But my mind became so difficult because the moment they saw that name, senator, they said, I came early, but they kept me to be the last person. I just respected myself. And they were waiting for me to fail. They didn't know I prepared too hard, but they were very hard. So when I had my presentation, they were shocked. How did you manage to escape? I said, because I know people have already put some platform. So it is easier for me to do what I did than lying, ask to go back and write it again. It was then that the chairman reminded me. The chairman, you didn't tell me before. And I know. It was when I passed. In that way, you know, when I was the president, you were my council. I said, anyway, having said that, there isn't much to speak because everything I'm sure must have been said. I have a prepared speech, but I will not bore you with it. I just want to thank head of service. You've done well for us. Today, we members of NIPR are proud of the categorization. We're now the CARA. The same way you have procurement officers. The same today you have public relations officers in the ministries and parastatals. The reason is that a lot of people who are managing information at the level of MDAs are not well schooled in the art of information management. You will see somebody who doesn't even understand what information management is, they're drinking and putting. But today, before you manage information, you just have to be in that cadre. Once in that cadre, you have to go to school to belong to that cadre to manage information of the MDA. So thank you. I would also like to thank my brother, our president, for a lot of the initiative you have brought to bear within the very few months. I think we are just about a year in office. And you have done exceedingly very well. I witnessed the Diamond event where you brought everybody in this country, even beyond, to be part of it. So you have a lot of initiatives. You also appointed me to help the NIPR legislative agenda. I can assure you that we are working on that. And the most important thing is that the chapter of NIPR is now moribund because we amended. So that is our job. So it is in the report that I'm going to submit before the end of this month. You will see what we have lined up in the report. And I'm also happy that the Minister for Information is the fellow of NIPR, and a lot of other government functionaries today are fellows. So we have done a good job. We'll submit our report. But the board still lies on our desk, on my desk as the chairman of that committee. So we'll make sure that the NIPR chapter is amended to reflect best practices all over the world and modern day realities. So I want to thank all of you. I've seen my brother, Professor Oyawale, who has just received his award. This is one of the things happening today. And has been to the aviation sector. Just like other sector, we have to move it. And I have spoken. One of the congratulate you. And we know the Lord big things. So Mr. President, hold him tight. Do the lot. I'm sure that I can follow the so that's why we're going to the free. You can only do only those. Don't talk about those. Okay, you can add the. So I want to thank all of us for having the question to listen to me even after my own time passed. Thank you for this.
Thank you very much, our distinguished senator, a very high-ranking senator for that matter. Professor Oyawale, I was asking for a debate. Now you have the offer of free. So, thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we are doing very well with our time. The hour has come, or the moment has come, for us to do a very critical aspect of today's event. It was Public Relations Day, being marked by the NIPR, but we have this component. I want to very respectfully invite to stand by my side the council member representing the good people of Niger State, Akin Abodile, a distinguished fellow. He's going to take the citation, and I want to very, very amiably and beautifully invite the head of service of the Federation to please come forward and then stand as our citation is going to be read. Of course, at the end of our citation, we discover that NIPR does not get our word. It's going to speak. The citation is going to speak for itself, and at this point, I hand over to Mr. Akin Abodile to do the next.
Thank you very much. The President of NIPR, Chairman of Governing Council, the Vice President, Chairman on the occasion, guest lecturer, sir, distinguished members of the Council, Secretary General of APRA, fellows of all degrees, now that we have been categorized, other members of the Institute, members of the Foreign State, ladies and gentlemen. The head of service, I bring you greetings from Nigeria, Salama to Abubakar, former head of service of Nigeria, who is your very good friend. She said very copiously, very likable, and I appreciate what you're doing, Looking at the very intimidating and very good, loaded profile of Dr. Mrs. Folashade Omolara Yemi, CFR, our Amazon and matriarch, it brings to mind the most memorable comment of Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Dr. Folashade Yemi has taken the service to unprecedented realms and frontiers. And the civil service can never be the same again. This passionate and visionary leader
of over 30,000 and 300,000 strong Nigerian public service directly or indirectly.
We started out being best bachelor of dental surgery.
Best bachelor of dental surgery, but was yet to come.
Traversed the health
sector like a colossus for 2 decades. Professional and administrative architects.
He was
coordinator on health, oral health, school programs, leading officer of West Africa Health Organization, director of health, planning, research and statistics, and during her 7 years as cabinet secretary, he was very outstanding with the performance enhancing reforms with which government machinery effectively functions. As the Federal Minister of Information, she initiated the automation of workloads at the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, sat on the board of the NLNG as director, etc. At head of service, rapid transformation is ongoing for digitalization, development of standard operation procedures, whole of government performance management system, IFO certification in the civil service, benchmarking of international best practices in the civil service. He is champion of culture change, meritocracy, and institutionalizing reward and recognition of officers in the service. He studied at the University of Ibadan, Lagos, and Ilorin, and having seen all and conquered all, and at the zenith of her awesome career, Dr. Mrs. Olashade Yemi, her best is yet to come. Recipient of the National Productivity Order of Merit, NPOM, the Nigerian Excellence Award in Public Service, Guardian Special Recognition of Effectiveness for Women in Public Service, Pillar of Support for Rakabu for Industrial Harmony, member of the Institute of Directors, member of the Chartered Institute of Personal Management (CIPM), fellow of the Chartered Institute of Law and Risk Management, and commander of the Order of the Federal Republic (TFR). To crown it all, in further pursuit of ensuring professionalism and excellence in public service, Dr. Olashade Yemi on Wednesday, 13th December 2023, decided over the fifth meeting of the National Council on Establishment in Bauchi State, where the Council considered and approved memorandum intended by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation for the integration of FY National Information Publication leading formal recognition of public relations as a professional leader in national service. I think for these reasons that we are here today, and outside the public service, and the distinguished leader of humanity, Nigeria. President, following the provisions of the NIPM Governing Council, I have the honor to give thanks to Dr. Olashade Yemi. Best government of Building Federal Secretariat Abuja.
Thank you very much, Dr. We now invite the Registrar of the Institute to lead the proceedings for peace. The Registrar, please. It's now time for you to
May I?
Thank you very much. The head of service of occupation, you have done this current council wishes to celebrate you. May I invite the chairman, Mr. King, who is now so he can join us as a former council member of. Thank you, Chairman. Now to invite our guest speaker. We also invite the only honorary fellow in this hall, well dressed, to join us. Independent. So that we are not accused of lack of education. Then we also invite the council members who are here with us. Then council member Grace, Chimobuka, please join us. Secretary General of APRA, join us. You are representing the constituency. Okay. Yes. Let me invite Please now honor and pleasure formally to announce you. Because NIPR is a member of the 100
126 countries as members. So you have been honorary fellow gives you that right. 126 other countries where we have. I would like to also present to you the professional standard guide, which was developed by the Institute in 2002. In 2004, then revised in 2022. What this is this is the standard professional guide for public relations officers, both as assistants and then as officers from grade level, whatever is the bottom line, highest level of director of public relations. We developed this a lot of time ago. We are donating this to those who are handling this Keynote service for the UK, because we have all worked it out over 20 years ago. And it not only contains the skill set that is required for their post, it also contains the competencies, what every header is supposed to accomplish. If you're a public relations assistant, this is the work that is taught out for you. If you are a manager or an assistant director, as the case may be, this is the work that is cut out for you. If you don't accomplish this, then you don't deserve to go to the next level. This is what we got the best of our professionals to do this, and this is what we have been using at the Institute. And I thought we should present this to you. And I also want to present to you the register of members. Inside this register of members are 4 important documents. First is the act that gave birth to the Institute. Second is our bylaw 1 that gives operational direction on codes of ethics practice. Next is bylaw number 2 that gave birth to the practice at the state level in all the chapters. So they are product of law. Next is bylaw number 3 that gave birth to consultants, practitioners, those who are practicing as consultants. Where will you get to before you become agents of public relations? You don't just join PR because you're an associate, you jump in, you jump out, become a consultant. No, we have all this worked out. Before you become a consultant, there are levels you must reach. The fourth one is bylaw number 4 that talks about fellowship. Who is qualified to be a fellow at whatever level, both as professional fellows, honorary fellows, and other, whatever it is. All these things are clearly important. And this is because public relations is a profession of ethics and protocol. You don't do things anyhow. Process and procedure guide us in all that we do. And we want to present this to you. Finally, it's my pleasure to now release you. Not into retirement. We are not retiring. We are now joining NIPR for us to redefine the relationship in Nigeria. Welcome. Okay, that's a I don't understand. Well, just reminding me that your professional colleague is our the secretary of Abuja. It's the only profession that I think possible. Thank you very much. What do you want for us?
Photographers, very quickly. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while that is going on, let's give our newly minted fellow a bigger round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we can now return to our seat, except the newly minted honorary fellow who is going to take her address. Your Excellency, ma'am. Thank you, thank you. Let's clap for her as she goes up, where the proper remarks will be taken. That is status. Yes, there must be a particular point where she will take her remarks. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is good to work hard and aim certain positions in society. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor and privilege to hand over to the woman whose port of call was my former office as the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. I watched you and I was proud of what you did before she finally was appointed as the head of civil service of the Federation. Let's give her a big round of applause as she addresses them.
Thank you very much, the chairman of this occasion, distinguished senator, the president of NIPR, and other distinguished members of the governing council, the keynote speaker, the venerable, permanent secretaries, directors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and I must acknowledge the presence of my organ, Chief Linus Bawuti. It is indeed a great honor to welcome you all to the office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation on the occasion of the 2024 World Public Relations Day. But before I go on, since I've done the welcome, I just want to take a minute to address what my brother, Dr. Jake Epele, said, and to counter what he said, that the most senior person living with a disability is a level 14 officer. You are not in tune with reality. Today we have more than one person as director, and they're persons living with disabilities. In fact, one of them is the director HRM in the commission. And I also recall about a year or two ago where we had a candidate sitting for the PAMSEC exam as a director, and he was also a person living with disability. I think he came from the Ministry of Labor. So please, that what you said is not correct at all. And on the work that you have been wanting us to do on the data, please be rest assured that the office, the Service Welfare Office, currently is working with the Commission on the numbers of people living with disabilities. We actually started, but the Commission said that they wanted to be a part of what we were doing, and so we had to slow down to accommodate there. And so I'm sure in another month or so, that work will be done. And the director overseeing that office is sitting right here. So if you feel that you need to get more information, please do that. And I also, before I go back to the speech, I also want to talk about effective communication and also ensuring that we are able to get correct facts. About last week, a notable Nigerian also came out to talk about the civil service being
the most corrupt institution. And I was embarrassed because all the things that notable Nigerian was citing, especially his experience, were things that occurred years ago. And I thought that, you know, for us to talk about the civil service today, we need to do some investigation, ask questions, instead of
living in the past and thinking the civil service of today is still where it was years ago. And so I want to use this opportunity, since I've been inducted as the PR manager, on behalf of the civil service, to say that
civil service has moved from where it was years ago. And
so I'd also like to use this opportunity to congratulate NIPR on its recent Diamond Jubilee celebration, which signifies decades of regulating and building the capacity of PR practitioners in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I wish to apologize for not being able to be present at the event because I was unavoidably out of Abuja during the period. But I know and I'm heard that the celebration went very, very well, and that the chairman of council agreed with himself. Well done, sir. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying that
goes, if you don't tell your story, someone else will. This only underscores the importance of information and image management within the sphere of corporate governance at all levels. In the course of my public service career, I've been able to appreciate very laudable and important interventions of government at various levels of implementation. However, one recurring factor that waters down the visibility of public appreciation of what is being done is the failure to effectively tell the story. This is why the practice of public relations should never be a profession of all sorts, but should remain professional and guided by contemporary ethics. I also want to acknowledge the guest lecturer this morning, this afternoon. He actually spoke my mind when he hit hard on professionalization of PR, and especially the effect of digitalization and AI. That is one thing that I've been preaching, and I'm gladdened to know that NIPR is also looking that way. In this light, I wish also to acknowledge the forthrightness of the leadership of the NIPR, led by one of the nation's finest in the realm of information management, Dr. Ike Neliaku. He deserves the applause. I'm appreciating him for walking the talk and ensuring that the highest level of professionalism is being driven in this critical aspect of governance in Nigeria. I make particular reference to the very proactive actions of the NIPR president and his team within a short period of assuming office, a very innovative memo to the last National Council on Establishment to transform the nomenclature of the information officer cadre in the federal civil service, and indeed in the whole of the civil service, including states, to information and public relations officer cadre. If you are with me in Bauchi, then you will know that when the chairman wants something, he doesn't relent. But I'm glad that the we were able to push for it, and that all the heads of service of the Federation agreed that that was the way to go. Congratulations. In the Federal Civil Service, we have recognized the imperative of effective communication. Now I'm going to add effective and responsible communication. And we have been able to do a lot in collaboration with our private sector partners to create a framework for communicating our programs and activities, in addition to feedback mechanisms for our internal and external public. It is against this backdrop of the understanding that the Office of the Head of Service of the Federation and other government establishments cannot tell the story of the ongoing transformation in the Federal Civil Service alone, that I implore highly reputable organizations such as the NIPR to continue to partner with us to drive the transformation of the service. On this note, on my conferment with this honorary fellowship of NIPR, I must say that I'm truly short of words. However, I dedicate the honor to the glory of God. And I also use this opportunity to recognize all hardworking civil servants who have contributed one way or the other to make these notable strides that everybody has been talking about. It has not been a one-man show. I've had very hardworking people around me to ensure the success of it. I thank you all once again for coming, and may God advance the cause of the NIPR. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Fellow. We are delighted to have you. I would like at this point to introduce to you the fellows who are here. Now that you are one of them, they can feel free to receive you. So I will start with Dr. Lee Tom, FNIPR, Elder Peter Lama, FNIPR, His Royal Majesty Dr. Jacob Adentayo, Astro, the FNIPR, Lady Chinwe Obuka, FNIPR, Dr. Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, Master Secretary, FNIPR, Dr. Ahmad Sajo, FNIPR, former Commissioner of Communication, and number one president, Charles Otunba, FNIPR, Mr. Ali Umar Ali, FNIPR, and Chichis, FNIPR. And then at the back, we have Mr. Otunba, FNIPR, and then Mr. Young man who wants to be an old man, Franklin Ginger Ike, FNIPR. Well, I'm not going to recognize those who are not properly dressed because they are not in a position to receive the fellow who has just been watched. So, and then, okay, yes, Ambassador J. Ebele, FNIPR. May I request you to please rise up to receive your new fellow. Oh, well. Well, he's the chairman, he already performed the act. And then our guest lecturer. So, Stanley, give the microphone to who now to receive Madame on behalf of the fellows. Okay. Let's give it to the. Okay, they said the only woman in the house. Now, wow.
That means you see how the politics has gone.
Thank you very much, President, Chairman of Governing Council of NIPR. On behalf of the fellows in the House, it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you, ma'am, to this beautiful fold of fellows. I'm happy to be part of this event, ma'am. Congratulations, and you are so much welcome. Thank you, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a feminine touch. Mr. President, sir. Oh, thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we have done very, very well. But just 2 minutes, then we are up from here. The president has asked that we call to speak for us for 2 minutes, no other than the one that always represents the minister who is our own and who we are proud of. The DG Voice of Nigeria, Olufemi Babatundache, to just come and add from the ministerial perspective. Are you going to be a minister tomorrow?
Mr. President, Chair Council, distinguished Senator, Vice President, other councilmen, our father from the Keynote chapter. Good to see you. My big auntie, head of service, Madam, the permanent secretary of the ministry, other very senior fellows and civil servant permanent secretaries. Professor, thank you for what you do for the country. My auntie, we know that the minister we have loved to be here, who is your brother, Minister of Information and National Orientation, but he's presently in the villa, national, of course, with the president and commander-in-chief. I just like to state by saying that as a brother, I'm very proud to have you as an auntie. Many people will be surprised, but she's my big auntie who is a role model. And your confinement today for me, and it's in tandem with what the president of NIPR has been doing, which is mentoring and mentorship. And I hope that those of us who are young people and younger people, both for the girl child, will understand that hard work pays. What has brought you to this level is hard work, is passion, your dedication. It's earned. The confinement is earned, but even your position is also earned. It's not something that was just a given. And this is what is so important to all of us, particularly young people. You need to work hard. And like the US General said, sometimes people know what is good for you than yourself, and where you will be recommended, you will not be there. I want you to continue with the good work that you did and you're doing up to this moment. And I'm glad that you made our president quickly realized your potential and didn't want you to rest so that you can continue, particularly for the NIPR. This is a time that we require people like you who talk to young people, men and women, to understand that we have a good country and we need to be committed to it because, man, as you all know, we're in the age of noise, we're in the age of misinformation, disinformation, and even outright lie. People, some in this country, some outside, who don't mean well for us. And I have no apology to say that. And we require people who will talk to younger people to say that, look, we have a country, it may not be perfect, but we are not the worst country in the world. And like I said, I want to assure you that as a younger brother, we continue to make you proud as Voice of Nigeria. Voice of Nigeria is committed to the vision of our founding fathers, which is to tell positive narrative about Nigeria and Nigerians, Africa and Africa. Congratulations. May God continue to guide you.
Thank you very much. A very big round of applause for him. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we have done so well for today. As a way of vote of thanks, let me thank the head of service, our new freshly minted fellow. The ambience of this place is befitting, and that shows the class you are made of. So whoever comes here today must want to snap this small auditorium and make it a model. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are also delighted that she has assumed that position of #1 public relations officer for the service. And yes, and I'm glad that she has done it excellently. She has used that few minutes she had to project the reputation of civil service in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to put on record that this honor is not a misplaced priority. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I want to, on behalf of the President and Chairman of Governing Council, thank everybody who has made this event a huge success. Madam, go forth and be a good ambassador of the NIPR. Congratulations. So we now go order of procession. This time around is going to be in reverse order. When we were coming in, we came in with the younger ones. When we were processing back, we go back with the bigger ones. So the order of procession will be the president, the registrar will be the president, the fellow council members, the fellow to follow. The national anthem are ready. After the count of 3, then we'll take the national anthem, then we'll close for today. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. We now take the order of procession. The registrar, please lead the Mr. President and the principal officers, while distinguished fellows, council members, distinguished fellows of the institute will join us. Thank you very much.
Hello.